Today I'm in my kitchen and I'm using apples, raisins, and sugar. So today I'm making apple brandy and it is the easiest thing to do. Again, it's one of those things that the making of it is very easy, but it's the wait that takes the longest. For the apple brandy, we're going to need some apples, and you want to make sure you're getting them from, like, say, your farmer's market, or apples you get from the store have like that waxy buildup and make them all nice, shiny, and new. You don't want those for your to make your apple brandy with. And then you're going to want your raisins, and you want to make sure you have organic raisins. And then your clean jar, and then also you're going to need some sugar, and you want to make sure it's pure cane sugar. And then I have my smasher to help smush down the apples and the raisins into our jar. And then one more thing I need to get is, let me get it. And the thing I forgot that we need is also you need some plastic wrap to put over top of your jar. So let's go ahead and get started. Get my area cleaned off here. Make room to cut up our apples. Set everything off to the side. You want to make sure you have a nice big clean jar. And you can find these jars at like thrift stores or yard sales, or even if you say you like to have pickles, that come in the big jars, you can use those as well. Just make sure it's a nice clean one. So now when you're cutting your apples, you don't have to worry about peeling them or coring them. You simply want to slice your apples into chunks. Small chunks is fine, because in the end you're going to be straining them anyways, so any of the seeds or stems that might be in there is okay, because you're going to strain your apples. And we'll put our apples in first. Earlier I made apple cider vinegar, and that is just another item that you can use for your apples. This time of year when everybody has apples, it's a great time to go ahead and be making your apple cider vinegar or your apple brandy. And so now I've got my apples in there, and now I'm going to simply just put in some of our organic raisins that we have. Whoops, making a mess. And I'm going to stick some in there. And then you want to take your sugar, and again, no certain measurement. I'm just going to take about probably like a couple tablespoons and just kind of put it in there. Maybe a little bit more on one side. We'll have one more layer. I make one more layer before we use our little smusher thing. It's actually out of my Mason Tops fermenting kit, and so that's what I'm going to use to smush down the apples and the raisins and the sugar into our jar to make more room for more. Taking our raisins again, and now we've got a layer of apples, raisins, sugar, and now apples, and then here comes some more raisins. So your layers are always apples, raisins, sugar, apple, raisins, and sugar. Okay. And then now a couple tablespoons of our pure cane sugar. Okay. And now we're going to, I always forget what this is called. But anyways, this again is out of my Mason Tops fermenting kit, which I really love. The Mason Tops fermenting kit, it makes fermenting so easy. And so now I'm going to use this to smush down our apples and our raisins. Smush them down as far as you can. You really want to pack your jar full of apples and raisins. So I'm going to try to push them in here. Now see, if Chris was here, I'd make this be his job. You can smush them down in for me. You see how easy it is to make this and how quick. It's just a matter of getting everything smushed into your jar. And then we'll do another layer of our apples and you just keep going up until you have a filled jar. And I'll come back again and show you, because I'm going to want to smush it down even more to add more to our jar. Okay, so you really want to smush your apples and your raisins down in there. So you gotta use a little muscle in this part. Now you can see our layers. We have our apples, our raisins, and our sugar all the way up, and we took and smooshed them down, really packed them in tight into our jar. We need 2 rubber bands and then plastic wrap. So I forgot one thing. Before we put our plastic wrap on, we want to go ahead and wipe off your jar to get off any of the, the apple drippings or any of the sugar. Just kind of clean it up real good before we put on our plastic wrap onto our jar. Clean around the edge. Here's our 1 plastic wrap. And then here's plastic wrap number 2. And then make sure it's on there, good and tight. Then you want to take your rubber bands and make sure they're on there good and tight around the jar. I'll put the other one on. Once you have everything all layered in there, you got 2 layers of plastic wrap and then 2 rubber bands wrapped around it. You want to place it where you're going to keep it. Then you want to keep a heavy book on top of it and just let it set. Oh, I forgot one thing. You want to take a marker and write on your plastic on here the date that you made your fermented apple brandy. The next step is just all you do is you take it and you put it somewhere and just forget it for like 6 to 12 months. You're going to make sure you just have it in some like in a corner of your house somewhere where it's kind of dark. It's definitely out of direct sunlight where it would not be disturbed or moved around. I'm going to put ours down in the basement on a shelf. And then it's really kind of up to you on how long you want to leave yours set. Now, when you are letting it set longer, it's going to eat up more of the sugar, which is going to make it taste more like alcohol. So anywhere from 6 to 12 months is a good time for it. And then when you get it, you're simply going to take it and use like a mesh strainer into a bowl and pour it in there. You might have to do it maybe more than once. And then just simply use a funnel and pour into whatever kind of bottles you have. They don't have to be anything fancy. They can just be canning jars if you want. There you go. This is Stacy's famous apple brandy. And again, let me show you her book. So this is her fermenting book. And inside you'll see her recipe for her apple brandy. So you can go onto their website and order yourself a fermenting book as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And we would love for you if you subscribe to our channel. So we'll see you guys later.